Hello, my name is Hans George Campbell, and tonight I'm going to show you guys how to install an IDE to SATA adapter in a Sony PlayStation Network adapter. So let's get started. Okay, here are all the parts that will be needed to install. Let me get my pointer. To install this IDE to SATA adapter into this Sony Network adapter. So that's what we're going to do right now. Okay. So we'll put these parts aside. They're not needed right now. Alright. I'm going to show you the screwdrivers that I'm using. I'm using a small number 2 Phillips. These are from West Germany, in case you want to buy yourself a set of these. I'll highly recommend these. These are great for doing, like for working on vintage electronics or computers, things like that. Video gaming console systems, you know, these are great because they're low torque. Okay. And the other driver I'm going to be using is a Craftsman, a Torque 6 driver. Okay, that's the other driver that you need, is a Torque 6, a T6. Okay. Alrighty, so let's get started. The first thing that we want to do is we want to open up, okay, let me get this adapter out of the way. First thing we want to do is we want to open up, we want to remove these Phillips screws. Okay. And you always want to use a low torque screwdriver when you're working with metal screws, you know, self-tapping screws that are going into plastic. You don't want to use a full-size number 2 screwdriver. Okay? And what I mean by that is you don't want to use one like this. This is a full size, you know, standard size number 2 screwdrivers. Never use something like this when you're working on vintage computers or any kind of screws, you know, metal screws that are going into plastic cases. Excuse me. Okay, you want to use a low torque screwdriver like this one. Okay. Alrighty. So, am I still underneath the camera? Yeah. Okay. Alright. I think I'm going to zoom in a little bit more so that you guys can get an idea of what, you know, you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. Okay, this way you can see what I'm doing. Alright, so we got those 4 screws removed, and that should enable us to remove, actually we got these small screws too, don't we? No we don't, okay. Yeah, that should allow us to remove the shield. Okay, why isn't the shield... Oh, I see why. Okay, it looks like you're also going to need a small Phillips screwdriver like this one. You're going to need a small one like this. Okay. For these two screws here. Wait a moment. Okay. We use the larger number 2 to loosen it up. Yeah, that'll loosen it up. Okay. But we'll use the correct size Phillips screwdriver to finish removing these. Okay. Alright, so there's the small screws. Well, that one. Okay, so now we should be able to remove this shield. Alright, so there's the shield removed. We want to hang on to that because we're going to be replacing that. Alright. Okay, next we want to take our Torx 6 screwdriver and we want to remove this Molex power connector. It's held on by 2 T6 screws. Now sometimes these screws can be a pain in the butt. I'll be the first one to admit that. Other times, like this, they come out pretty easy. Okay, and then this will unplug from there. Okay, now you're going to need that cable in a moment. Okay, so now let me make sure I'm still centered underneath the camera. Alright, we'll take this IDE connector out. Okay. Alright, now we want to take the board and it should come out. It's like clipped in and it should pop out. Yeah, it's clipped in because we want to get to the underside of this board. We don't want to use this existing ribbon cable. So we want to, okay, you pull on this black part and that releases the ribbon cable. Save these parts in case you ever want to go back to an IDE interface. Okay, now what we're going to do is, okay, we want to plug, okay, let me see something here. Alright, the contacts on this. Okay, the contacts right here, they face down. I'm going to have to put on my goggles. So you slide this part in, like that. Make sure it goes all the way in. And then you reclose that black piece. Okay? It should close pretty easy. Make sure that ribbon cable's in there and is fully closed. Okay? And now we want to get this back in here the way it was. And just, you know, well, I want to pop that in, so okay. And there's a spring right there. There's a spring right here. You want to make sure that spring is still in there. Okay. There. Okay, so that's in there like that. And you want to make sure to plug that. This is key, so it'll only go in one way. A lot of times you have to twist this baby to get it to go in right, but it is keyed. And you just plug it in like that. Okay. Just and get it to go underneath like that, and that should go in just okay. Like that. Okay? Alright, now the other thing that we're going to need to do is, okay, let me see, I think there is, okay, a bag of parts. Okay, there's a bag, okay, there's a bag of parts that came with this, and you're going to need those spacers. Yeah, you're going to need these spacers. So I usually hang on these little bags. They're perfect for screws and stuff. Put little screws in, things like that. Perfect for that. Okay, so we got those screws, we got the spacer. Now these are Phillips. Luckily these are Phillips that are going back in here. And we want to put that like, oh God, don't do that. Yeah, sometimes this can be a pain in the butt to put on here. It really can. But just be patient, and it'll happen. Don't tighten it all the way, because you need it kind of loose so that you can get the other spacer in. Okay, you need to get the other spacer. Oh man. Okay. So let me get this screw in here. Oh man, are you serious? Yeah, these can be a pain in the butt. Okay. Okay. It should. Alright, let me see if it found that. Okay. Now, it's even after you tighten it, it's going to move a little bit. That's okay. That's the way this is. It's supposed to move a little bit. That's just the way this mount is made. Because the reason why it's made like that is the connectors inside your hard drives, you know, they're not precisely in the same place at all times. Sometimes they're off a little bit, and so this connector has to be allowed to move, you know, to give a little bit in order to allow for those slight, you know, imperfections. Okay, just snug it. You know, you don't want to over tighten, just snug it. Tighten it evenly. And that's it, boys and girls. That's all you get to put that on. Okay. Okay. The last thing we want to do is we want to put our shield back on. So, just put it back on. You know, it should go right on with no problem. Yeah, should go on with no problem. Just making sure. Okay, so we're going to go ahead. I usually start with this center one first. And I don't tighten it all the way, not until I get them all in. Okay, start with that center one, and then I usually go for these down here. Remember to always back your screw, go backward until you hear the click. When you hear that click, that means the metal threads of the screw has seated with the plastic threads. And it's okay to start going forward. It should go in pretty easy. If it doesn't, then you're cross-threading. Something's cross-threading or binding. Okay, and then I usually put this one in, like this. Okay. Alrighty. Okay. Now we'll put this screw in and make sure that your spring is still in there. Okay, and it is. The spring's still in there. Okay. Now, the last screws you want to put in is the small screws that go into here. You don't want to tighten it all the way until you get the other one in. That allows this to move a little bit if it needs to. Okay. And remember, don't over tighten. Just snug it. Especially on these small screws. They can strip real easy. And that's it. This baby is now put together. It's now put together. Yeah. There it is. Sony Network adapter. And it's converted to just a standard. Yeah, this should move just a little bit. That's how you know it's installed properly. And I want to make sure it's not shorting out on anything, and it doesn't seem to be shorting out or hitting anything. So, yeah. It should be fine. Should be fine. Yeah. It should be fine. But anyway, there's that. Okay. Okay. This is the SSD that I'm using, that I'm going to be installing in one of my PlayStation 2s. It's a PNY, PNY 120 gigabyte hard drive. Now, I have already prepped and formatted this on my PC, and I copied over all of my favorite PlayStation 2 games, and the artwork and the config files for OPL. So this SSD is already set up for my PlayStation 2, and that's why I put this little sticker on there. Okay. And I'll be putting that SSD into this adapter so that it's not rattling around inside the PlayStation 2. Okay? Yeah. Okay. So, let's get started. Alrighty. Yeah, these are pretty nice. I think I might need to zoom out just a little bit so you guys can see what I'm doing. Yeah. But yeah. Okay, I'm gonna empty out the screws. Okay. There we go. Okay, and this is the hard drive, SSD, and okay, so there's the hard drive. It's a solid state drive. And that's what I'm going to be putting in this adapter here. And it just basically plugs in Why isn't it going in? It should go in. No. Okay, it's not going in. I don't want to force it because, you know, you don't want to break anything. But okay, it pops in. I mean, it's, boy, when it pops in, it pops in. Man. Okay, and then we're going to screw in these little flathead screws that's provided. Okay. Make sure it's underneath the camera so you guys can see what I'm doing. Okay. You don't want to over tighten. Just snug it. Yeah, just snug it. It's another reason for using this low torque number 2 screwdriver. Don't really have to worry about over tightening too much. Okay. Well, just snug it. Just like that. And that's it. That's my hard drive. Or SSD in the adapter. It'll slide in right into a the Sony PlayStation's hard drive bay. Now another thing that you want to do is it's a good idea to install little rubber bumper feet right on the very end here. Okay, right about there. Okay, and I'll tell you why in a moment. But yeah, you want to apply some bumper feet right at this end over here. Like right about there. And the reason why that is, okay, this, okay, it won't rock like this, and it's not going to move this way once it goes inside the PlayStation 2's hard drive bay. But a standard hard drive, when you look at it from this way, it's a little bit thicker than what this adapter is. So it could move like this, which could possibly damage the SATA connector. So by putting these bumpers in there, I found out it takes up that space. Still like about, I don't know, a tiny little bit of space left, but it's not enough to cause it to move very much. And that seems to make this fit in a lot better, you know. Yeah. So that's what I found out when using these types of adapters here, you know. Okay. And then it's just a matter of taking it and plugging it into the adapter like that, and you just slide it you slide it into your, your PlayStation 2. Yeah, just slide it into PlayStation 2 and you're done. Yeah. And it works really well. I have an SSD like this in all of my PlayStation 2s. This is just a backup, a spare. But yeah, I thought I'd show you guys how to do that, how to install that IDE to SATA adapter in your Sony Network adapter. Anyway, that's it for this video. My name is Hans George Campbell, and until next time.